Hey folks, it's been a long time. How is everyone? Finally back from vacation. 3 weeks in the US, no online pokers whatsoever. And I also got myself some insurance on this whole poker thing. So if it goes wrong, if I happen to go bust, I have some options here. I got myself a T-shirt already. No, it's actually just I just bought that for fun because In-N-Out was just one of those burger joints that we visited so many times on the road. It was just the easiest. You just type it into the GPS, and you can make sure that you're gonna have a good burger when you're on the road. When you get hungry. So yeah, we toured the West Coast. I don't want to bore you too much with details. If you're interested in the road trip that I did with the wife, then please check out my blog at Poker School Online. I'm doing a four-part. There's four installments. The fourth is coming out next week on Sunday or Monday next week, and I got three installments over there already, covering the whole road trip. And then in the fourth installment, there's also going to be some poker content. So in case you're interested in some live poker stuff, I decided to take a 5-10 shot. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And if you're going to have fun reading that, then please feel free to check it out. For today's episode, which is the season premiere of season 2 of Grinding It Up, I decided to start on a whole new different idea, which it's not that different actually, but I decided to hear you guys, and you wanted live sessions, and I definitely know you enjoy those the most, and I decided to switch this whole series a little up and make it a little different from the previous episodes. I'm still going to go into questions if you have any. So if you feel like tweeting me questions or hands that you want me to get into, then just feel free to do that. And I'm going to try and do that at the start or at the end of each episode. But for the most part, I'm going to be playing live, and you're going to be seeing me doing all sorts of different live play stuff. For today, I decided to just play one table of 25NL Zoom Poker at Hydra because the bankroll allows it. We're actually at $442. I just played a couple of hands at 25NL and lost a little bit, so should have been a little higher, but dropped down to $360 profit, which gives us a total bankroll of 442. Add up the $80 that I started with, and we got $40 to spend on a 25NL shot, and that's what we're gonna do in this session. So without further ado, I'd say let's just jump right into the game, and let's hope that I don't have to work at In-N-Out anytime soon. Well, I could actually, because those guys at In-N-Out, they seem so incredibly happy with their job. I don't know, like if you go to other burger joints or if you go to other fast food restaurants, I just feel like people, not all of them, of course. I definitely don't want to generalize this, but I've found that so many people are just a little bit miserable, maybe. But at In-N-Out, they just all seem so happy. They're like, so sir, what do you want? What can I get for you? And they're just working. Number 35, number 36. I'm gonna flat 7-5 suited on the button because I have the button and because it's such a small open. I tagged this guy as a regular, but I got the button, I got position, so we're gonna play this hand. We're gonna bet the flop. He check calls. So when he check calls, turn is a pretty bad card because I expect him to be check calling a lot with ace X type, ace queen, ace king type. So you can definitely have an ace here. He also is gonna have some pocket tens and nines and eights. I could actually get him off these hands. I'm not too sure. I think I'm gonna take the free card here. If he bets this river, I'm pretty certain that he's always going to have it. If he checks it, I think I can safely bet, because if he checks, it's pretty obvious that he actually doesn't have an ace too often, and he's probably going to have tens or nines, and I don't think he can call this bet. So we can take this down on the river. That works out pretty nicely. I got to shake off all this online rust. So When I got back, I wanted to use the 3x button. I've changed a little bit about the table layout. First of all, the cards, because I've been playing some live poker in Vegas and in LA, and I just gotten used to that card layout, even though it's four colored, which you don't get in casinos. Would be nice though. Would be really nice to have like a four color deck, because sometimes I've had it that at times I just wasn't able to discriminate between diamonds and hearts, and I thought I had a flush or somebody else had a flush. I thought that they had a flush and they didn't. So I'm just gonna defend against a recreational player, even though he's short. I mean, I have a suited jack and he's giving me a good price. Can definitely fold this. Yeah, and where was I? I was talking about live poker. Yeah, and I definitely gotta get back into the online rhythm. And since I took a 5-10 shot over there, I pretty much got used to playing higher stakes again, which carried over a little bit to when I returned. And what I did was I opened up one table of 500 NL Zoom poker. I think I gotta fold this because that looks pretty strong to me. And I actually was quite successful. I won 2 stacks in that session, and it pretty much got me going on those higher stakes games again. I actually haven't played any higher stakes games except for live poker. I haven't been playing any higher stakes games beyond 1-2 online. And now that I actually have tried playing 5-10 at the Bellagio, and that went pretty nicely. I'm going to talk about that in the blog, so check it out at Poker School Online. Yeah, I kind of tasted some blood, and wanted to give it a shot, and it kind of worked out so far. Let's see where that takes me. I definitely have some ambitions now, again, to move up beyond 1-2 Zoom poker. Let's see. I'll keep you updated on this. So ace-2 suited. If the button is going to open, I think that's a potential candidate for a bluff 3-bet. And if not, I'm going to open raise. I think I can just open raise and call the jam. I mean, if he jams on us, then that's going to be it. Now he calls, and he only has $2 left. I don't think I should put him in because there's a lot of hands that we have. We don't have that much equity against. I think I'm check folding now that he calls, actually. Not feeling too comfortable. I should have put him in pre-flop, actually. I think that's a better play. Treating this situation like a tournament situation. Definitely folding. My stats are not working. I returned from vacation, fired up Hold'em Manager 2, and my stats are not working. So I took this as an opportunity to just fly a little, do a little blind flying, just not playing with stats at all and focusing on what's important and looking for reads. And ace-2's offsuit against a small open on the button. I could definitely defend this. I mean, the price is pretty good. You should defend an ace. I think I'm defending an ace. I should definitely defend an ace. You could also fold this, of course, but it's just a small open, and I think I'm doing quite well against the typical button opening range. I can turn my hand into a bluff now, I think, because when he checks this back, it just looks like he has a hand that has some sort of showdown value, but can't really call a bet now. So I should definitely take the opportunity up to turn this hand into a bluff. The key difference that I'm going to be making, the adjustment that I'm making since I've moved up from 10 NL to 25 NL, I think that actually people are now, in some spots at least, they're going to be capable of folding hands. That's a pretty big 3-bet. Also, ace-9 offsuit is a potential candidate for a bluff 4-bet. Big open. I'm going to fold king-9 suited here. And I do think that we can get away with a little bit of bluffing. Not too much bluffing, not too much sick bluffing in terms of building huge pots and then just shoving and expecting people to fold like top pair or whatever. That's not going to happen, but like spots like these that I pointed out where people's ranges are pretty much capped, where they can have too many strong hands and where they just use the fast fold button to exit. I think I'm gonna flat here, even though it's, I mean, I have the button, it's just a reasonable hand to flat and it plays reasonably well in position, even though the open raise is pretty strong. But I definitely want to utilize my button. I don't want to pass up on opportunities to play on my button. I'm gonna fold since I'm not closing the action with that gutter, and my implied odds aren't that good. So we have the results of the session over here. So what I'm going to do in season 2, I'm going to be playing all sorts of different stuff. Going to play regular tables, going to play deep stack tables, going to switch in stakes depending on what our bankroll allows for. I might even take some shots at higher stakes games pretty early, just to keep this series interesting and you know, to make it a little bit more spontaneous and give this a little bit of a improv character. You know, I think most good things just come from improvising and doing stuff instead of just planning stuff and laying out plans and talking about it. And you know, it's going to be more interesting for you guys to watch, I guess. So hope that's what you want to see. I changed up the bet slider buttons and I changed up my hotkey settings. So I've got a hotkey on the right mouse now for a pot size bet. So whenever I need a pot size bet, which might be the case sometimes, I'm going to be able to use it here, as we see here, 560. I'm going to call. I think it's a good enough hand to just defend, even though it's a small 3-bet and it's suited. So decent flop. Definitely calling once and then reevaluating on the turn. So hands that beat me, aces, ace king, pretty much that's it. Pocket kings, of course. You know, I think he should not be bluffing that river too often. Thinking about betting here, but I can't really represent any bluffs. So when he checks back that turn, I think his range is going to have, I think I'm going to bet really small. His range is going to be skewed towards queens and jacks, and I think I could get looked up by queens and jacks here if I bet that small. Maybe I can even induce a bluff. I don't know. Any raises, which I'm pretty happy to call off here. And he has ace king. That's a possibility, of course, but I don't think I can fold there. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And him checking back the turn, you know, it's kind of tricky. It's a tricky line, but I don't think that I should be folding there. Right, so 4x open from under the gun. I'm going to fold. And I pretty much asked for it by betting so small. So, you know. So my stats aren't really working, but as I said, I think it's a good exercise, and you should do it from time to time, I think. So whenever you get the chance, just turn off the stats and just focus on the dynamics, focus on the opponents, look for reads, look for stuff that you can pick up, information that you get through showdowns, through betting lines, bet sizing. So that was a pretty interesting bet size, and I should definitely note this down. So what I'm going to do is, let me see, I'm going to fire up the replayer here and go back to that ace king hand, which is kind of awkward. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is, where's that note box? So checks back, ace king on king 3 3 4. No, I should write the board in chronological order just to make it a little bit easier. Raises river. That's a small bet. So I do flop a set here. Don't think that raising is good on this board. I'm just going to call. Maybe I keep this player in. So pretty interesting that he checks back this turn. Yeah, I think I still just have to call here and just hope that this guy is value betting. And you know, that's going to be a value shove for sure. Can't really rep many bluffs, but I do think that there's a ton of value to be had here on that river. So we're definitely shoving this, hoping that it looks like a bluff. So yeah, note taken. We got a boat. Looks like he has a hand like queens or jacks. Pretty interesting. Betting half pot and then on that river. Looks awkward. I mean, he bet it to two people, so he definitely needs to have a hand of some sort. I think it is a hand like tens through queens. And maybe you could have made an argument for raising small on that river, because I just feel like people are a little reluctant to call shoves at Zoom poker. So yeah, that's part of the thing that I'd call, getting rusty from playing live poker and then getting back to online, clicking buttons and just seeing like, I got a boat, I'm gonna shove 100 big blinds. If he has aces, he's gonna call me. It just looks like I'm bluffing. Can't really rep too many bluffs here, but that doesn't necessarily have to. I don't necessarily have to be repping bluffs in the minds of microstakes players. For them to call me to make a loose call against me, I don't have to bluff or look or worry about them thinking this guy is never repping any bluffs. He can't really get to the river with too many bluffs, except for Jack 10 or 5-6, 6-7 or Jack 10. But that's not what they're thinking. They're on a different level. I'm gonna flat on the button here. We're pretty deep, and I got a playable hand, so button time. Could definitely also 3-bet, but the price is so good. And we get 3-bet. That's a shame. Yeah, we can't really call. Yeah, since we have no stats, what we need to do is we gotta watch showdowns. That's what we're gonna do. So here we go. Let's watch some showdowns. Yeah, maybe you can make an argument for min raising and then hoping to get a spite call from like tens through queens, but I do think that shoving is good here. Like aces are gonna call us, and if he decided to get stubborn with ace king or king queen, whatever. So let's have a look at what happened here. The turn was checked, I think, and then he bet the river, looking like either ace king again, or we don't see much queens, jacks, tens again. Who knows? So what does the bankroll say? When you're playing your sessions, you shouldn't be checking your hold'em manager too much, but since this is grinding it up and we have to keep an eye on our bankroll, it's what we do, especially since we're on a shot. King queen, I'm gonna open. So 440, still plenty left. Should actually leave now that I won some money, because I only got 40 bucks to spend, but even if I lose 35, it's fine. As long as I stay above the $400 mark, everything's fine. Regarding time of the episodes, or the length of episodes, I'm not going to make them too long. So what I'm looking for is turn a profit, boost the bankroll. So as soon as I've done that, as soon as I've like won a stack or won a couple of stacks, I might even quit the session, since I don't want to make these episodes too lengthy. As the longer the episodes get, the more intense it gets with production work and post-processing and then uploading, and So what I'm looking for is really boosting the bankroll, making a video of a short session, and trying to to really get the bankroll up and take some aggressive shots. That's what we're looking for. Yup. You're not going to be the old conservative bankroll nit. We're trying to get our feet wet and move up in stakes as soon as possible. That's what we're trying to do. But still within the boundaries of and the limitations of proper bankroll management, which means 40 stacks for each stakes, and then utilizing any leftovers, any money that's left over beyond the 40 stacks, we're going to invest into taking shots. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, good for you guys, because I'm going to do more episodes, right? So That's how it's going to work. Right, Queen 10 suited. Come on. I got a player noted as a recreational player and 2 regs. Against the middle position open, I think I have to fold. Against the cutoff open, not sure. Could be a 3-bet. I think it's a potential candidate for a 3-bet. I think I'm going to go for it. Queen 10 suited plays so well with aggression that I'm just going to seize the initiative here from the small blind. Making it a little bigger since I'm out of position. Really ramping up. Calling from the small blind isn't really an option since I'm not closing the action and don't have initiative. And I might actually limp behind here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to limp behind on the button. Button play is so important. Utilizing position. 5-6 offsuit, crappy hand, but against a recreational player, who knows? This could develop into a monster. And it's definitely, I don't think it's good enough to raise. Gonna fold here. That's a pretty big raise that guy makes. Recreational players doing what recreational players do best. Use awkward sizing. Queen 10 suited. One of my favorite hands. And the same guy in the small blind. What a coincidence. That's always good. I mean, if you got like the player in the small blind who calls a lot, limps a lot pre-flop, then you definitely want to be opening wider. Queen 10 suited is sometimes it's even a standard open from under the gun for me, because like the suited broadways, they're so good, especially when you get deeper. 9-7 suited. You got a short stack on the button, which is bothering a little, so I don't think that's going to be an open. I think it's going to be a fold. The deeper the players behind me, the more likely I'm actually to be opening wide. And the shorter the guys behind me are, the less likely I am to open wide. Min raise, button time. Not this one though. This is not good enough to play on the button. 5s, I'm going to open. So yeah, if you have any questions, as always, tweet using the grinding it up hashtag. I really hope that we can get this grinding it up hashtag trending. That will be awesome. I'm going to use it quite a bit. And you can also comment in the comment section down below, of course. That's no problem. And I'll address these. I usually just go for writing, so in case you put any questions into the YouTube comments, I'm usually just answering straight away if I got the time, and if I don't, or if I think that this is a question that you asked that would make up for some good content, then I'm just gonna use it for the upcoming episodes. That's what I'm gonna do. So Queen Jack off. On the button. What are we going to do on the button? We're going to flat call. We could also 3-bet, but we're deeper. I don't like. Queen Jack suited is a better candidate for a 3-bet there. So, decent flop. Definitely betting big on this flop because I do think I get check called a ton by 10s and jacks and 9-10 and stuff like that. So, we're definitely betting. There's a lot of value to be had here by betting. Because, like, people are definitely check calling on this flop with showdown value, pair plus draw type hands that they feel are not good enough to bet. Or King Jack, kind of a standard, close from that position, probably from the cutoff, more standard from the cutoff, but everyone is not too short. Royal Race is actually from Poker School Online. I'm going to bet this flop, of course. Not too happy about it though. Get 2 calls. Now 10 on the turn. I do pick up a straight draw. I don't want to get raised on this turn against 2 players, so I'm going to check. I do have some extra outs now that add up. So I think it's even good to put my hand into a check calling range now. I think I do have to call this turn because I can actually have people bluff the outs that I have. So that's a little bit tricky. Queen Jack is a likely holding that he might have, but I don't see myself holding. Definitely calling with a straight. Not much else I can do. And chopping it up against King Jack, so at least won a little bit. You know, when you put hands into check calling ranges like that, I think it's good because people can actually bluff your outs. While if you turn them into a semi bluff, you know, well, you get some folds, but you also have some showdown value with the top pair. I'm gonna raise here against a recreational pair. It's close. I could also check, but I think a suited ace is good enough. Just want to utilize initiative. It's so important, just to get him off like the random hands that don't connect with boards like this. I also have some backdoor draws, so even if he calls the flop, I can definitely go ahead and just barrel off, and I'm definitely going to barrel this turn because, you know, pick up a flush draw. Got one over. Ooh, get shoved on. That was not planned. So I got to call 6 into 14, which... What is he shoving here, actually? So he limp calls pre-flop and then shoves here. That's really close, to be honest. He tanked a little, so I definitely have to make a case that he might be strong here. I'm folding, not too happy about it though. Could do some poker stoving. Let's take a short break. Oh, sit out. Yeah. Get my poker stove. One of my favorite tools. So, okay, so we had the ace-7 of clubs, and he shoves on a king heart, deuce heart, 3 of clubs, 6 of clubs board. He actually might have 4-5, right? So let's put some 4-5 suiteds in there. Let's pocket 6s, pocket deuces, pocket 3s, of course, and king queen, king jack. He might limp call. Recreational players do that. Like king 10 suited, maybe even. Put some more kings in there, like king 6 suited. If he limps king 6 suited, then you might also limp king 7 suited. Let's make it like king 7. We can actually make it king deuce suited and better, which should resemble his range pretty well. And against that range, like we can add some bluffs into that range. We can add like ace of hearts, 6 of hearts into that range, but I don't think that will change much. We can put like hard draws with some extra outs in there, but that's just a couple of combinations, you know. Like you could add this in there, and then it just... So what we need is we had to call 650 into 14. We get 3-bet by this recreational player, and since we're deep stacked, we're happy about making the call, and he's giving us a great price, so we're gonna call. And that is not a great turn, but regardless, we're still gonna call, even though we have some reverse implied odds, of course. Well, we did have reverse implied odds a lot there, so I'm pretty happy I didn't make my hand. But you know, you can have a queen, you can have an overpair, you can have any pair really. So I think it's fine to make that call. Yeah, so as we see, if we add up some more combinations of draws that he might play this way, I don't think we get to the point where we should be calling. So we have to call 6 something. I think it was 650 into 14. I think it was something like 1450 and then divided by 650. So it's 1 divided by 3.2. I use a shortcut rule of thumb. We'd need about 30 to 32%. I think 32% is pretty realistic. So we'd basically need yeah, I'd even say like 33% equity is realistic, and I don't think we get that. So I think it's a fold. Like would be interesting to see if that would make any difference, and I do think it makes some difference if we had some extra outs, like if we had the ace 4 of clubs or ace 5 of clubs. or even like a pair with the ace deuce of clubs. A little different, but not that big of a difference. But I think you can make the case for actually calling it off. A little lighter there. Well, you never know what these recreational players are up to. So let's have a look. How did that session go? Didn't go too well. Still haven't been able to put an end to the downswing, but still we're, we got 440 bucks, 439 actually. So we got 39 bucks to spend on some more shots. So next episode is going to be tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be another 25 NL shot. So stay tuned for that, and see you guys tomorrow. Keep grinding it up. It was a pleasure to do this season premiere. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me some feedback, and see you guys tomorrow.